reinstatement of this parliamentary business is done. And that is why I'm here to besiege the House to consider urgent
of the entities that we were supposed to work with. And even the little that we did, it was rejected by Parliament. Because I must admit the way we did it as an individual, although there is collective responsibility. As an individual, I was not happy. And still talking about local governments. We have already heard here how the entities are so many. And yet, the districts have the local public accounts committees. My suggestion is that public accounts committees. My suggestion is that as this business is reinstated, we need to look at how governments, we need to reinforce the positions of public accounts for local government to be able to also take care of some of the entities. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, I was very happy that we had started receiving reports from even secondary schools.
Honorable Speaker, I appreciate the step which is taken committee to make sure that the business of the 11th Parliament should be brought forward. Right, Honorable Speaker, this Parliament should be a continuous business place. We shouldn't, because we lost in the 10th Parliament. When we started the 11th Parliament, every business of the 10th Parliament were left aside. And I think the spirit of which you've started now is really very good. And therefore, my concern is simple, is that we should not list only this one that you brought forward. Instead of saying, honorable members introduce at appropriate time, since we have limited time for introducing this particular motion, I think 14 should not be within more than 14 time of sitting in this Parliament. It is better that we should put it that this listed one and any other, because this morning when we were receiving a report from the outgoing committee chairperson, there were some other businesses that he brought forward, which some of them are not among this list. Similarly, as the different committees will now receive the handover reports, there will be some other businesses that were left by those other committees that are very important for this House. I therefore support this motion, but I wish we could put it with other businesses that are still outstanding with committees. Thank you.
Honorable, Rule 245 is very, very clear. We can't be general. You see, you can't work in, you can't give a blank check, you know. And maybe for your comfort, what we did, we instructed the clerk to extract all business pending before committees. So we looked through business item by item at the business committee level. There is business which had been overtaken by events. There is business which was already, you know, complete, okay, ready for signature. There is business. So we looked through all the business with the committee chairpersons and felt that this was the only business for now, okay? This was the only business as a business committee we feel we need for you to start work. Colleagues, business is going to come. We are going to give you business. You're going to be very, very busy. What we are working on are strategies for accountability committees. To find that accountability committees dealt with only 10%, okay? And yet oversight is one of the most critical functions of Parliament. You know, that is an indictment on ourselves. So we must do whatever we can. We strengthen the oversight function. We support accountability committees. And the Speaker has been meeting several agencies, and we've been meeting several agencies. Colleagues, the kind of support we are having, especially on strengthening accountability, is so much. I'm sure we are going to do more. We have even created a department, a department in charge of accountability in the Parliament, so that we can strengthen the accountability function, not only within Parliament, but also outside Parliament, especially to do with training of members of the accountability committee reports, so that we can process as much business as possible. We wouldn't want to continue making blanket, you know, we make a blanket resolution on things we didn't verify. We would want to do more. And we are having a very good dialogue with the Office of LOP on how this can be realized very well. And count on us for support to ensure that you become effective in delivering on your mandate. So the resolution has to be very, very clear. We don't want it to add on and any other business, and we get into trouble. Yes, Honorable Babiku, Jessica. And
thank you so much,
Melissa.
Right Honourable Speaker. I support the motion because of the following reasons. We are the makers of the laws and the rules, and therefore to implement them to the dot is what is best for this country. And secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, we are here as representatives of our population, and whatever we discuss here have got demands for feedback, so that Ugandans get to know what the Parliament has decided or the resolutions taken. But also lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, it is a best practice that can avoid manipulation, because if people know that when items come at the closer or at the time when we are about to dissolve Parliament and those items are not concluded, people can be targeting such periods and bring sensitive matters, knowing that they will not end up being concluded. Thank you so much. I support the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Melissa.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker, for this opportunity. I rise to strongly support this motion that Parliament reinstates the businesses that lapsed in the 11th Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, the citizens have a very high hope in this 12th Parliament. As we all know, there are many who are struggling outside there, and there had been petitions, there had been many issues that were tabled in the 11th Parliament that were not fully resolved. I am therefore so happy that the motion is requesting this Parliament to reinstate the businesses that lapsed. Among them is the compensation of victims of South Sudan traders that we didn't conclusively finish. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll be so grateful if all these businesses are brought at our attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think also we need to look at the reasons as to why some of these businesses were not concluded in the 11th Parliament. And one of the reasons, I think, is the limited time that we have for committee sittings. If you look upon it, Mr. Speaker, you'll see that a number of committees will probably sit from about, well, they stipulate 9 o'clock, but members will reach at about 10. And by 1 they are closed. That means only 3 hours for 3 days, because Fridays they go to constituency. That is 9 hours a week. We have benchmarked in the 11th Parliament, in a number of parliaments in Tanzania, in Kenya, and we see the practices that they do. There are a number of weeks allocated for only committee business and oversight. Whereas here, we tend to put it together with the sittings, and hence limiting the times provided for committees to conclude their businesses conclusively. So I beg that as presiding officers, you will commit to giving committees ample time to make sure they carry out the oversight and also do finish up the businesses in any way possible. Thank you.
Honorable, this is something we are already looking at. We assigned the clerk to prepare a document for the business committee to consider in that regard, because we don't need to be sitting in plenary every Tuesday. We have to have enough time for committees to do work. And then also for committees, we have to be very clear. We have time for sectoral committees, time for standing committees, so that we avoid the situation where members are running around committees. My committee is meeting, my committees. You end up having a running member, not an effective member. Yeah. Yes, Honorable Seungo. So, but we are waiting for the clerk to report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Even today was with my new committee, COSASE. Frankly speaking, performance of committees is determined by the leadership of the committee. It is very key. Where you think, I'm sorry to say this, but nobody will blame me because sometimes it's factual. Where you think that the vice and chair will not be within the country for 10 days, definitely there will not be work for committees. And the parliament has a timetable, it has a calendar, how it moves. Once you follow the calendar, there is no way standing committees can avoid working, even during recess. We used to carry out that. They take us on recess, but the committees remain working because you have to cover the work you were given by the committee. So performance is determined, and I think it is you, Mr. Speaker, and Business Committee to determine evaluation of the chairpersons of committees. For us, we shall be available. Moreover, it attracts an income for me whenever I attend. That is the key for me. I don't take that little money small. It gives a lot of solutions for my constituency to win again. And I would pray, Mr. Speaker, that as we get this, because me, I'm happy, some accounting officers were already jubilating that they are going to throw out that business, that they are surviving accountability. So let them know that we shall consider their accountabilities, where they messed up with the funds, we have them. I'm not Chisanja, no sleep, remove it and we go by the law. That's me, not sleep, because again, the people will sleep. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, with a good facilitation of committees, give them support so that members can take up their work diligently. I don't expect you, if you are telling me to go to the field and you will think I will look after myself, then it will be a challenge. But I'm expecting as a member of parliament, as I go to Budadiri and Mitoma, my considerations are available for my journey and everything, and I carry out my work. These are facts that cannot cause debate in the public, because when you facilitate a member of parliament, he's carrying out his oversight function by support of parliament, not from his own resources. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, you will be facilitated. Maybe one other thing which I should tell you is that we no longer want a member of parliament to travel abroad on business of parliament before they receive their per diem. Because many have been going to money lenders. By the time we pay you, we are indirectly paying the money lender. Yeah, so we've worked out arrangements whereby you will only travel. We shall sign for you if your money is available. If it's not available, we shall tell you to postpone. The business of saying, give me a ticket, then I go to the circle, no. You have to travel when your money is available. I had assigned the Attorney General and the leader of opposition and the opposition chief whip to talk and discuss about this issue of time. Because the Constitution is very clear. Okay? We have 6 months. Okay? We have 6 months, but we needed the guidance of the Attorney General. I didn't want to ambush him. I wanted to shorten the debate by the Attorney General talking to Lope, who is the head of the accountability side, that we move in consonant. Honorable, I had picked another colleague. I think Honorable Narima, you are next.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the very matter of the time given for the Accountability Committee to present back to Parliament the different reports, you realize that these audit reports are presented either late December or early January. Now, the first 3 months, we are always in sectoral committees and we are considering the budget. The budget takes priority. So even the time for the 6 months needs to be revised, because literally we have 3 months to consider the accountability committee. So I pray that we also look into that matter, because literally there are 3 months, not 6 months as outlined. And also I support the motion because we are the people responsible for accountability. We cannot stop the accountability process by the entity of parliament not performing its role. So the mere fact that we are reinstating business, we are also performing further our accountability role and ensuring that money we allocate is literally the very money that has been spent. I want to appreciate you.
Thank you. There's a honorable colleague here. Yeah. Yes, honorable. The next one.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate the inclusion of bringing forward the lapsed business of the 11th Parliament. My attention, Mr. Honorable Speaker, is drawn from a bill that was granted permission by Mityana South Member of Parliament, Honorable Richard Lumu, who by then was a Member of Parliament on independent ticket, who was granted permission to introduce a private member's bill to amend the Administration of Parliament Act, the law that governs the elections of parliamentary leaders, Mr. Honorable Speaker. And I was requesting that this particular bill be included in the issues of lapsed business that was not concluded in the 11th Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Marshall, then Honorable Pierre.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to stand to support the motion and very briefly state that it's good practice that we follow up the audit queries, particularly of 2024, 2025. Honorable Speaker, we are all aware that in 2025, the elections start, the election calendars are out, and our performances in Parliament start reducing, because most of us are now looking at politicking. So it's very important, particularly for the taxpayer of this country, to have issues which flip over resolved. So I really support the motion that we look into the matters of the last Parliament. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Pio.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. I also rise to support this motion that this business be reinstated. However, Right Honourable Speaker, I believe that for purposes of clarity, the action taken reports from already business that was already presented on the floor of Parliament should still be valid and therefore will not apply under this rule. But secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to propose that perhaps as an amendment in future, because for accountability committees and Auditor General reports, ideally, even when Parliament is dissolved, the Auditor General's report still should remain valid. My concern is in future, and God forbid that you have a Parliament which may not be very, very well aligned. They may not reinstate that Auditor General's report. And in the end, that accountability function ceases. So since the provisions allow that you can amend, I want to propose that in future, we should be able to amend that as much as the bills and the petitions will lapse, but the Auditor General's report and Accountability Committee reports which are being processed should not lapse. Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney General, I reported to the House that I had assigned you and the Leader of Opposition and your teams to look through this matter and report back on the issue of time. Would you want to report on my assignment? For purposes of guidance, and then I'll give the final guidance.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. We had agreed with the LOP that he actually present this matter.
Oh, okay. So, look, I can see everyone is running off from bailing the cat.
Right, Speaker, so there are people who think that government and opposition never agree. We do agree sometimes. And today we have, for example, I'd actually thought that our senior would give the report to the House, but yes, I can. We've combed the laws, both the Constitution, our rules of procedure, the Audit Act as well. What we have zeroed to is the 6 months that are talked about within the Constitution. They will commence count after the House carries the motion. Because, as far as we are concerned right now, those reports collapsed with the 11th Parliament, all of them. But we are saying because it's important business that we have got to attend to, we are reinstating it. In essence, we are pressing the reset button. So the 6 months which are provided for, within which we are meant to consider this work, and then the committees bring reports and so on, the count of the 6 months commences today if the vote is carried today. If it is carried tomorrow, it will commence tomorrow. So then the committees will have 6 months to excogitate over the reports, the different motions, bills, and so on, and then report back to the House. So that's the consensus we had with the Attorney General.
Attorney General?
What the LOP has stated is accurate.
No, Masaba, you're satisfied?
Right Honourable was in the meeting, and we were considering the options, and since the Auditor General does not, because the date we're going with of the 29th is when the Auditor General reports or hands it in the report to Parliament, but officially that report is handed in here by the Commissioner. So we are taking the date the Commissioner has laid today, the report, as the day Parliament is receiving that report again, and as part of business that we will begin with. So we did agree on that position, Right Honourable. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, the report, we are within time, isn't it? We are within time. Let the committees process the report, okay? And if there is any further guidance that needs to be given by the presiding officer, it will be given. They have been laid within the time that is within the constitutional framework, and if there is any other guidance, we shall give it. Okay? Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I think we've debated enough. I now put the question that the motion for a resolution of Parliament to reinstate parliamentary business that lapsed at the dissolution of the 11th Parliament of Uganda as laid on table and listed in the motion be approved. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Honorable members, let the clerk extract the recommendations with a copy of the Hansard and transmit to the relevant and the ministries so that we start business. Now, accountability committees, you have business to start right away. Next item.
Item number 6 on the order paper. Motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to review the government undergraduate sponsorship program with the view to increase the slots allocated to the district quota system.
Honorable Mapenduzi.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to review the government undergraduate sponsorship program with a view to increase the slots allocated to the district quota system. And I move this motion under Rule 58 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, whereas Article 30 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda provides for a right to education for all persons and objectives, 8.2 of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy further obligates government to take appropriate measures to afford every citizen equal opportunity to attain the highest educational standards possible. Aware that government runs an undergraduate sponsorship program where 4,000 slots are allocated to the best performing students at the Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education level to join public universities across the nation on the basis of National Merit Admissions Scheme, District Quota Scheme, Sports Scheme, and Special Needs Scheme. Further aware that out of 4,000 slots, 3,000 slots, which represents 75%, are located under the National Merit Admissions Scheme, and 1,000 slots, which is 25%, are allocated under 3 remaining schemes, namely 896 slots under the District Quota Scheme, 40 slots under the Sports Scheme, and 64 slots under the Special Needs Scheme. Appreciating that the District Quota Scheme was introduced by government in 2004 to address the imbalances and inequalities associated with National Merit Admissions Scheme in order to enable each district access slots for admission of its outstanding students to public universities based on the population of a district. Noting that since 2004, when the District Quota Scheme was introduced, the population of Uganda has been gradually increasing, and so has been the number of students who qualify for admission to public universities. Further noting that for the last 5 consecutive years, between 60,000 to 80,000 students qualify for admission to public universities annually, Yet the government undergraduate sponsorship program remains at 4,000 students, majority of whom come from top performing schools, which are mostly afforded by students from well-to-do families. Concerned that the district quota scheme, which was intended to address the inequality, the distribution of slots under government undergraduate sponsorship program, is allocated 896 slots only, which are distributed on the basis of the population of a district, and as a result, rural districts end up with fewer slots because of low population, while districts in urban areas are allocated more slots due to high population. Convinced that unless government reviews the distribution of the slots under the government undergraduate sponsorship program so as to reallocate more slots to the district quota scheme, the poor, disadvantaged, and underprivileged students shall remain marginalized, which defeats the objectives of affording every citizen equal opportunity to attain the highest educational standard possible. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Parliament urges government to review the government undergraduate sponsorship program with a view to increasing the slots allocated to the district quota scheme to enable the poor, disadvantaged, and underprivileged students benefit more from the government program. I beg to move.
Is the motion seconded? Is the motion seconded? Honorable Batom, Korean, Honorable Paparurian, Honorable Azza, Tom, Honorable Bigger Rose, Honorable Soed, Honorable Kor, and many members of the House. Honorable, would you 2 minutes like to speak to your motion? Just Emerson Iboseungu, who has been a long-standing member of the Committee of
Thank you,
Education.
Mr. Speaker, sir. I was the Shadow Minister of Education. And since I entered the Parliament, I've been the Committee of Education, not until my boss sent me to Committee of Defense and the Shadow Minister, Defense. Mr. Speaker, sir, before I supported this motion, during rationalization, the justification was to remove the higher loan financing board, that all the monies and slots for students were going to be taken to the district quota. And the higher loan financing board, I will request even the ministers around had got a lot of money, because once we are getting these loans through borrowing and paying back. I want to know, before I support this motion, what is at stake now? Where are these funds? Where are all those slots? Because that was the justification that was brought before Parliament, that the loan scheme would be used to get students under the loan scheme for the district
What's
quota.
your procedure matter?
So procedurally, is the procedure okay for Mr. Speaker to know before from the Minister of Education, Honorable Mingo, my good friend, Doctor, what exactly is happening with the higher loan financing board funds and those students whom they convinced us by rationalizing that board that they were going to be taken through district quota. That's what I want to know.
But,
because it will be a solution to Honorable Mapinduzi motion.
But Honorable, is that a procedure matter in your heart of hearts?
I have driven it very well, and of course I first built my issues, but said would it be procedure okay for the minister to inform this House?
Thank you.
So that as we support the motion, we know where those students are and the funds from the higher financing board, which was taken to Ministry of Education.
Thank you. Now, I think Honourable Minister, I think. Okay? Because the member is going to justify his motion. So he's just been allowed. So he's okay? Because the member is going to justify his motion. He has just been allowed, so he's going to justify. And then we have the two seconders, and then we give a minister a chance before we open up for debate. Yeah. So Honourable Mapinduzi, 2 minutes, because you've already touched on critical issues.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Members, for the overwhelming support. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to begin by thanking His Excellency the President and the NRM government for initiating and sustaining the undergraduate government scholarship scheme. This scheme, which is commonly referred to as government sponsorship, began in the early 1990s. And by 1996, Right Honourable Speaker, government was providing about 2,000 slots of 2,000 slots of government scholarship. But it's important to note that in 1996, the population of Uganda was about 21.2 million people. Now, in 2004 was when government introduced the district quota system, and by that time, the slot had been increased to 4,000. But remember, again, the population that time had grown to about 27.1 million people. Today, 2006, the slots have remained stagnant at 4,000 when the population of Uganda is hitting 50 million plus. And the number of students who sit yearly, for example, last year alone, the number of students who sat A-level was 165,172 compared to only 59,329 in 2004. So you can see the difference by over 100,000 students who sat last year. And when the district quota system was, 2004 when it was introduced. And so, Right Honourable Speaker, I would ask this question that, don't we think there is need to consider the population growth and increase the slots for government sponsorship from the current 4,000? Secondly, as I conclude, Right Honourable Speaker, all the records indicate that majority of the students who qualify for this admission are majorly drawn from schools that are said to be performing much better, and most of these are congested in the urban centers, as I had indicated. And so schools like from Kabong, from Koboko, from Madiokolo, from Kisoro and elsewhere have to struggle, and you can imagine the schools that are concentrated in the urban centers. I will not mention districts and cities, but majority of these schools, you may find one school alone producing students admitted on government up to about 80 or 100, just one school. But there are regions in this country where they cannot even produce 50. And so that therefore, Right Honourable Speaker, creates a very bad environment, because the impression is that children from poor families are not able to access this. And so it appears as if we are trying to reward the rich and segregate those from poor families. And so, Right Honourable Speaker, my prayer is that this is supported for the good of this country and for the good of the future of our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Mapinduzi. Second, Honourable Batom Koriang.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I stand here to second the motion. Honourable colleagues, I want to commend the move of this motion because it touches a matter that is very important to us. It's about education. In my considered view, this motion seeks to realign government sponsorship within constitutional values of equity equal opportunity, and balanced national development. Right Honourable Speaker, my support for this motion is founded on about 3 issues. The district quota system was created precisely to mitigate disparities, inequity of access to quality education. Increasing its allocation within the national merit scheme, therefore, is not a departure from merit. It's an effort to ensure that merit is assessed within a fairer and more equitable educational environment. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the education outcomes when students sit USE exams, the outcomes don't just come on their own. They are significantly influenced by the environment that the students learn in. Students from well-resourced schools will pass highly. And now if you consider admission based on national merit, it means most of the students that will be in this category of merit will be from those well-resourced schools, compared to those that are under-resourced. So it follows that immediately when the students are sitting exams, it's already rigged that the students that are going to benefit from this scholarship, sponsorship, are going to be from those within a certain criteria of schools. Uganda requires a skilled professions in every district. Our hospitals, schools, local governments, agric extension, name it. The public service grapples with attracting and retaining staff in many of the rural.
Honourable Switch on and conclude.
Thank you. Many of the districts, for example, if you counted how many schools, how many districts have qualified district engineers, there would be less than 20 out of the 140-something districts. But if we consider that the slots for district quota system are considered based on that fair consideration, then we would attract students from all these districts, including the rural district, to do civil engineering and many other courses. That when they are able to qualify, they will be able to go back and work within an environment that they are comfortable to work in. Now, our policy as education, my reason for proposing and entirely supporting this motion is that even the Ministry of Education itself has in many occasions come out to say they want to review the undergraduate sponsorship scholarship program. So bringing it to the floor of this House is actually giving education the right time to make sure they go back to review this motion, this scholarship program. And in my conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker, public confidence on our education system, especially the merit-based admission system, is very low. Because when you look at the admissions concentrated in a few districts, the rest of the country thinks it is rigged to benefit them. So us moving this motion as this House will regain the confidence that these people have on us. Right Honourable Speaker, in my conclusion, this motion presents a practical, balanced and evidence-based opportunity to strengthen one of Uganda's most important investments in human capital. By increasing sponsorship opportunities and enhancing the district quota system, Parliament will widen access to higher education, promote equity.
Thank you. Honourable Paparu.
Just a minute.
Honourable Paparu.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I stand to second this motion. Right Honourable Speaker, nations have bridged gaps between the poor and the middle income earners through provision of education. Uganda has moved strides by introducing USE, UPE. Now the access to higher institutions is limiting beneficiaries from the rural or poor communities. Right Honourable Speaker, we know in this country, when you get 2 principal passes, you have actually passed A level. But for the poor, even if their students get 2 principal passes, they cannot afford to pay their students under private scholarship. Right Honourable Speaker, the tuition at universities are about 3 million per semester. But we have parents who are able to pay students in the good schools in this country, and they are paying about 3 million per term. So these are the students who are the cream. They perform very well, and they are the ones admitted at the universities for medicine and all that. When you see the courses for which students are admitted under quota system, Right Honorable Speaker, you will realize some of these courses are courses that are not highly marketable. You will get very few people doing medicine, engineering, under quota system. Right Honorable Speaker, environment for learning is different. You see in rural places, people are congested, people do early preps, evening preps, they sit for standard exams. They sit for the same examinations that are set. So if a student in this rural area can afford to get 2 principal passes, we pray in this motion, I'm seconding, that the number for the quota system is increased so that those who are resilient in the rural areas can benefit from those courses. Right Honorable Speaker, when the cities were created, until now, the ministry has left the quota for the mother district together with the cities. I am from Arua district. Our quota is together with Arua city. Right Honorable Speaker, in the 5 years, 2 consecutive years, Arua district cannot compete with the students in the city, and we miss completely. We have 8 slots with Arua city now, but at times we get 1 or we get none. I think the ministry should also look into that. So I stand to second this.
Thank you. Honourable Minister. You know, before I open up debate, the Minister needs to guide us.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to begin by thanking my brother, Honourable Mapenduzi, for moving this motion, and also thank other members who have seconded it. I want to remind you that government acknowledges that increasing enrollment of learners at secondary level, improved completion rates under universal secondary education, the exponential population growth, and the creation of new districts have increased the demand for government-sponsored students. Consequently, the existing allocation under the district quota system is under increased pressure. However, government is also mindful that any expansion of government-sponsored admissions must be carefully balanced against the available fiscal resources and the competing national priorities. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, I wish to clarify that contrary to what is stated in the motion, the government is sponsoring more students than 896 under the district quota system. Following the enactment of the Higher Education Student Financing Act of 2024, a greater number of undergraduate students are being admitted under government-sponsored through the district quota system. Right Honourable Speaker, currently, 60% of the beneficiaries under the Higher Education Student Financing Scheme are selected through the district quota system. For example, in the current academic year, 1,228 out of 2,048 students selected to benefit from the scheme were admitted under the district quota system. We have been increasing the numbers that are supported. Right Honourable Speaker, government undergraduate sponsorship is financed through the annual appropriations approved by this Parliament under the budget of the Ministry of Education and Sports. The level of funding the level of funding available each financial year determines the total number of students who can be sponsored. Give us more money, we shall be able to deliver and give you. Right Honorable Speaker, continually reviews education policies to ensure that they remain responsive to the national development needs. The Ministry of Education and Sports is assessing various aspects of access to higher education, including a review of the Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act as amended, assessment and admissions, including the operation of the district quota system, to determine whether the existing framework remains fit for purpose in light of current demographic, educational, and physical realities. I therefore thank the mover for bringing this matter out to the attention of this august House and assure honorable members of government continued commitment to expanding equitable access to the quality of higher education while ensuring that any proposed reforms remain financially sustainable. I submit right now.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, that statement of yours or submission of yours, which seems to have been written, would you mind sharing it with us so that we can upload it for members' reference, even in the future? What is the procedure matter you're raising, Honorable Sewell?
Mr. Speaker, with due respect to the Minister, the Honourable Member brought his motion and it has attracted attention to all members. When I raised my procedural matter, I was having a particular component of that higher loan financing board coming into the district quota. And that's why I wanted the Minister only to respond to as you are directed, so that members debate positively towards the motion of the member. So are we proceeding well? When the Honourable Minister, Dr. Miyingo, has brought all answers that are trying to insulate the debate out of the motion brought by the Honourable Mapenduzi. Mr. Speaker, sir. That component. But
Honourable Sewell, your own rules, Rule 76, on the scope of debate. You know, we have a motion, okay? So the Minister has submitted within the confines of the motion, has provided for under rules. Now you're the one complaining that the Minister is not proceeding procedurally well because he has refused to go outside the rules. Huh? You know, no, scope of debate. So what if he's uncomfortable? So for now, let us remain within the scope of debate as provided for under Rule 76. Honorable Ndezi, then Honorable Lola Kanushi.
Right on, Speaker. On members, this is a very important and brilliant motion. It is grounded in Article 32 of the Constitution on affirmative action and other relevant provisions of the Constitution enacted to address imbalances which exist in our society. When talking about this motion, we are talking about leaving no one behind. I passionately love these issues and therefore support this motion very strongly. Right on, Speaker. The motion is very nice. It specifically mentions the three categories. In the first, second, fourth, and fifth paragraphs, district, sports scheme, and special needs education. However, right on, Speaker, in the last paragraph, a very important paragraph, the one calling for action. Two important categories have been left out. Which categories have been left out? Sports scheme and special needs education. What on speaker? For the benefit of people, of members who do not come with their parties, I would like to read it. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Parliament urges government to review the government undergraduate sponsorship program with a view to increasing the slots allocated to the district quota scheme to enable the poor, disadvantaged, and underprivileged students benefit more from the government program. So now, Speaker, what am I trying to emphasize? Two categories have been left out. So, right on, Speaker, I have an amendment. An amendment which seeks to insert sports and special needs education in the last paragraph. That's my amendment number 1. To insert sports and special needs education in the last paragraph. The mover has already mentioned that the challenges faced by these groups are already the same as these people we are taking from districts. So that is my first amendment. Second, Rotten Speaker, the resolution has no time frames. Since the resolution has no time frames, follow-up and the accountability will be a problem. Therefore, I propose to add the following. The review should commence this financial year, 2026-2027. That's my second amendment, Dr. Speaker. The review should commence this financial year. Last amendment. We want to give the Minister responsible for Education the responsibility and the opportunity to come and report to us on the progress of the review. Therefore, I have the following amendment. The Minister responsible for Education shall report Parliament on implementation of this resolution within 1 year after the passage of this resolution. The idea is to give the Minister an opportunity to come and update us on how far you have gone with the implementation of this resolution. That's what on Speaker, the heading as a consequential amendment to reflect the spirit of leaving no one behind. In the heading, we also mention sports scheme and special needs education. Special needs scheme. District is already mentioned in the heading, but sports scheme and special needs scheme are not indicated. Therefore, I beg to move that the heading should add the words sports scheme and special needs scheme. I appeal to all members support.
Thank you, Honorable. And this may be for guidance. And I just want it clear. You see, colleagues, action taken reports are clearly provided for under our rules, Rule 229 of our rules of procedure. And it gives 60 days for the minister to report back. But the member is being generous by saying we give 1 year. Okay? So I would think we go, since the rules are already covering that part, we keep it at 60 days, then the minister can continue updating, updating. That is if the motion is carried. I don't want to be in contravention of Rule 86 of our rules of procedure on anticipation, rolling before we could put a date. So I had Honorable Rora Kanusha.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me first say my name because it's my maiden speech. My name is Laura Kanushu. I'm the National Member of Parliament for Persons with Disabilities, but also my colleague was asking me why I'm putting up my hand. It's because the rules allow me, because I'm a person with disability. I just want to start from where the Honorable Ndezi has stopped, that we see at the beginning of the motion. I want to commend, of course, the Honorable Mapenduzi for that motion. At the beginning, we talk about special needs, but somewhere we lose it. I think that we need to make that amendment. But I also want to say that from the time the affirmative action program started, the persons with disabilities have been at that number. It would only be fair that this Parliament, as we approve this motion, we are cognizant of the fact that there can never be a vulnerable student more than that with a special needs. And if there are people who need the sponsorship at the universities more than anyone else, it is the students with disabilities. So we cannot afford to leave them out, but we also need to increase the number. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, while we talk about rural schools, I think we should also be specific and say public schools or government schools. Because I don't think that a poor person can take their child to, for example, Kampala parents. And therefore, if they are able to take their child to Kampala parents, they are able to pay at the university. But the children who go to the public schools are the most needy ones. So I'd like for us to emphasize that the children who will be given more priority should be those children that go to the UPE schools and the USE schools. I beg to submit.
But
Thank you.
Honorable Aurora, I just want to get you clearly there. We have in the villages some private schools that are cheaper than government schools. In the villages, and parents cannot afford public schools, UPE, so-called UPA or USA schools, but they can afford those of private, especially church-based, faith-based. How would you handle?
Right Honorable Speaker, I think I would be advised by the Minister in that regard.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So colleagues, I want to take advantage of one of us who has so much experience in this sector, Mr. Bruce Barawa, who has been at Makerere University Council. And I know when this district quota system came, you and Javira was at Makerere but a bursar. So you were just receiving money. When we don't have it, you chase us. And this one was on council where they were discussing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join the colleagues in thanking the Honorable Mapenduzi for thinking through this idea. First, from when the district quota system was introduced in 2005 to date, there is evidence that the children from the rural schools who come with slightly lower grades, because we look for the best with 2 principal passes in those areas, when they reach the university, they perform better than those with excellent grades from the other schools. Mr. Speaker, the scientific nature to test this has been the introduction of pre-entry exams for the raw schools in the country. And now we know that what we have been calling merit is no merit at all. It is therefore important, Mr. Speaker, that we think through this idea very comprehensively, so that the children of Uganda from the rural parts of the country don't just join the university on quota system, but join the university to participate in what matters in the development of the country. Today, 90% of the children on the district quota system are doing humanities. It is therefore important that as Parliament discusses this matter, there is an amendment to include a 50% share of whatever will be for the district quota to be for sciences. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Mapenduzi did indicate very accurately that the number is 896 of students today. The list is available. We can submit it when it is required. And what the Minister is talking about is additional measures to carry the district quota are actually students who borrow money and will pay it back when they get jobs. So we cannot confuse that to be government sponsorship. Mr. Speaker, the science component and the district quota need to be given percentages. Today, the district quota system is for 25% and the national merit for 75%. I would request Parliament to flip 75% for the district quota and 25% for the national merit. And also to have 50% of the 75 for sciences and 50% of the 75 for the humanities. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. You see, honorable colleagues, what usually pains me with such motions, okay, is that they are not all that resolute, because we are just urging. We are urging, because you see, because of the limit of Article 93 of the Constitution, where any motion that has a charge on the consolidated fund cannot be moved by a private member, any law or any motion. So, but Honourable Minister, we've shared a lot. I think this is something we should really handle and we sort out, okay? Okay, I think we shouldn't take long. We shouldn't, let me just, we shouldn't take long on
Thank you
this.
very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I've taken note of all the issues that have been raised, and we take note of even the recommendations. We shall look into it, and as money or resources allow.
Thank you. Honourable colleagues, I now put a question that a motion for a resolution of Parliament urging, you're hearing the word, urging government to review the government undergraduate sponsorship program with a view to increase the slots allocated to the district quota system be approved. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. No, I put a question, allow me to review, because there were some amendments, I'm sorry. Okay, just let me recommit it. Yes, thank you for being alert. Honourable colleagues, this is urging, even if you bring that amendment. Honourable colleagues, sorry, I put a question that a motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to review the government undergraduate sponsorship program with a view to increase the slots allocated to the district quota system with the proposed amendment be approved. Those in favor say aye, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Now, congratulations, Honourable Mapenduzi, and thank you very much, honourable colleagues. Clerk, extract the resolution and the Hansard with the very, very clear amendments and forward it to the Minister. Honourable Minister, this is, you can see you already have support cutting across on this issue, that the children of the rich do not continue benefiting. On this, someone comes from a school where they are paying 8 million, and you hear now government is sponsoring them on a course of 3 million. For God's sake, that's, okay? That's not good, especially with the meager resources. Next item.
Item number 8 on the other paper. Item number 7 on the other paper. Motion for a resolution of Parliament to express gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the clear and precise exposition of government policy contained in the State of the Nation Address to Parliament of Uganda on 4th June 2026.
Thank you. Honourable colleagues, before I open up the debate on this issue, please, Honourable Minister, Rule 229 requires that within 60 days you update the House, okay, on the action taken. And continue updating us, and we support you in ensuring this injustice. Now, Honourable Enos, you have a procedure matter?
Thank you so much, Chair. As the Honourable Minister of Education brings an action taken report, I kindly request through you that he gives us a comprehensive review of the sponsorship policy, government policy, because there are other inequalities that have not been captured in this specific motion that affect students. For example, the allowances there's a disparity between housing, the cost of housing, and the money they give to the students. There's also an issue of employability versus the loans. So I think you should give us a comprehensive report regarding the sponsorship policy of government, and we have a comprehensive debate and make resolutions to that effect. Because there are other challenges bigger than even the inequalities that we've not addressed in this motion. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Honorable, that's an indirect way of amending the resolution of the House, and really, it wouldn't be procedure right for us to do so. But the committee on education, the sector committee, should take note as part of its business. They should interact with the minister on this. Never colleagues, I request when we are in this house, we sit properly. In this house, we sit, we don't sleep. Okay? Thank you. And you can't use size as an excuse for saying I'm not feeling well. So, honorable colleagues, we are going to have a debate on the State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President and the response from the Leader of Opposition. In this debate, I request we don't interrupt colleagues. Each colleague gets 3 minutes without interruption, unless it's extremely factual or he has gone into an irregularity or what. We give members a chance because we want this to be a session for maiden speeches. You're introducing yourself to the country. Number 2, this is an opportunity for you to relate the State of the Nation address to what is expected from your constituency. Okay? So the President spoke on this, but now you can localize or domesticate the State of the Nation address to your constituency in what you expect the nation or the government to be doing in your constituency. So I received lists from government side, from the independent side, the opposition chief whip told me, he was calling members, they said for them they will be picked as they are here. Okay? But you see, the purpose of the list was for us to follow order, because we don't want to pick you 3-4 times during one item when others have not been given a chance. But clerk, you will take note of whoever submits on this debate, and then we shall be able to ensure that we don't repeat ourselves. So let's open the debate with Honorable Okoye. John Carvin.
Agriculture, continue relying on rain-fed agriculture. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are losing a lot, especially when it comes to prolonged. Speaker, we are losing a lot, especially when it comes to prolonged droughts. And most of the crop yields we are losing more than 50% of what is expected of value. And when the President addressed the issue of the irrigation, I think he was on a point. And the government is already really focusing on it, because the approval of the phase 2 solar powered irrigation targeting 427 systems across the country is very important. And particularly for my people in Nakaseke North, where we are trying to diversify income streams so that in addition to cattle, people are going into coffee
I think this becomes very important to focus on. So we commend the President for that. The other point has to do with the President's emphasis on indoor feeding, where he emphasizes setting up feedlots so that we can be able to grow pastures and store. And that is very important because it points to sustainable productivity throughout the year. Right, Honorable Speaker, right now during the dry season, if I quote an example in my constituency, where we produce between 200 and 250 liters of milk daily, in a dry season right now we are having a lot of problems. Milk production has gone down by more than 50%. So by President emphasizing the issue of growing pasture and storage of pasture, that would be an assurance that we can be able to sustain productivity throughout the year. The other thing is, of course, when we emphasize indoor feeding.
Thank you. Honorable, it is 3 minutes since since you're the first one. People have known that 3 minutes end at that door, so conclude. 1 more minute to conclude.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, just as I conclude, so focusing on indoor feeding has other advantages. Number one, you are able to look after more cows using relatively smaller land compared to free range. Two, the cows are not exposed to ticks, and as you know, Right Honorable Speaker, the number one problem on farms is actually tick-related diseases. So when cows are on free range, they pick ticks. So I think the President was on point by focusing on or by emphasizing indoor feeding. So to us who are in the cattle corridor, it becomes very, very relevant that once we go into it, it's going to help us increase productivity. I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Secretary Fred.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. My name is Fred Baseke. By the grace of God, I'm the Member of Parliament for Ntenjeru County South, Kayunga District. I rise to second the motion moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Right Honorable Speaker, during the State of the Nation address, the President gave a clear accountability of the achievements made, where the country is, the challenges that remain, and the direction that government intends to take in the next 5 years. I particularly want to commend the President for emphasizing commercial agriculture and wealth creation. In his address to the nation, the President committed to support irrigation and also to provide low-interest capital in the form of parish development model to all households with land in the next 5 years. That is commendable and gives hope to our people. Second, Right Honorable Speaker, the President also committed to support infrastructure. I want to thank the President for his continued commitment to infrastructure development. Without supporting infrastructure, there is no way we can talk about wealth creation. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, the President reminded us that for any wealth creation initiative to succeed, we must have peace, law, and order. Honorable members, you will agree with me, Uganda is a secure country, courtesy of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The peace we're enjoying, it's because of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The 6.4% economic growth registered last financial year is partly because of the peace we enjoy as a country. Regardless of our political affiliations, we all benefit from a stable country. Therefore, I want to wholeheartedly support the motion that this Parliament gives gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for the clear and precise exposition of the state of the nation of government policy as contained in the State of the Nation address. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable Tana.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, today I stand to appreciate His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the State of the Nation address, particularly for focusing on wealth creation. In order for this country to stop depending on subsistence farming, wealth creation is important, and he identified commercial agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Along those, he spoke of some enablers. Now, in the enablers, the one I am particularly going to focus on is the railway. Standard gauge railway. Our neighbor Kenya in March started the 107-kilometer stretch from Kisumu to Malaba, and on completion, they would have finished 1,000 kilometers. As Uganda, we are 6 years behind. Now, despite getting 650 million euros in funding, we are missing out. 6 major towns are going to get workshops. 6 major towns are going to get employment rather, and there is going to be 40% decline in costs for transportation. The time from here to Nairobi would be 4 hours and would be a regional hub for Central and East Africa. Now, I want to urge this House and the relevant ministries. There's a small challenge, especially in my constituency. The land that was taken for the railway, the people have not been compensated, especially Kasoli. And alongside the railway, we need roads. Tororo being a border district, we have failed to benefit from our geographical advantage because of poor roads. That is the only highway taking us to Kenya, and there is no expansion on that highway. With those few remarks, I want to thank His Excellency for a wonderful speech, and we will commit to working with him in Kisanja, Hakuna Kulala. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Now, Honorable Ministers, before we adjourn, I will allow you, those who will be here, to make a comment on the issues which the members would have raised. Okay? So you can take note. If there are issues in your docket, you'll be able to make a response. Honorable colleagues, I'm trying to, yes. Honorable Marende, because you see, I have to balance. I have to get from NRM, I get independence, I get opposition. Yeah. And Nansana municipality has to give his maiden speech today.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I am Shamim Malende, the woman member of Parliament for Kampala District. Right Honorable Speaker, on the aspect of economic growth, the President clearly stated that Uganda's economy continues to grow steadily with increased exports, industrialization, and investment. The President clearly spoke on increased exports, but did not come out clearly on the issue of importation of goods. Right Honorable Speaker, Kampala Central Business District, which I represent, comprises of many businessmen and women who are the biggest taxpayers in this country. They continue to grapple with challenges on importation of goods, among others, the delays in clearances at customs office, which results into demurrage costs. Because in most cases, when a businessman or woman brings in their goods and they are taken into the bond for verification, they are supposed to be valued by customs. But that period when the goods are in the bond, each passing day, those items attract US dollars 60 per day. And that is as demurrage, and that is depending on the space that you have occupied. So it is 60 US dollars and above daily. And currently, Right Honorable Speaker, as we speak, The business community in Kampala, they have their items and goods stranded at the bond for over a year. Clearing goods takes over between 6 months to 1 year, and they are suffering. They are on loans. They have sold their items, their houses, and now what I want us to know, or what I want the Honorable Minister to clarify or to help us with, is can the line minister inform this House what action is being taken to avert this delay? How are they tackling this issue? Because the business community in Kampala is losing a lot of money. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Zambari Mukasa. Bless you.
I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Zambari Bulasio Mukasa from Nansana Municipality, Shadow Minister for Sports. Right Honorable Speaker, the question in the State of the National Address was, or the logic question was, how do we move cashless people into money economy? Right Honorable Speaker, sports is no longer merely a recreation activity. It is a strategic investment that creates jobs, promotes social cohesion, nurtures talent, and enhances Uganda's international profile. Honorable Speaker, as a Shadow Minister for Sports, it is equally concerning that sports received minimal attention in the State of the National Address. No focus on women and persons with disability, and did not explain whether funding. Right Honorable Speaker, I am standing on Rule 89, 1E, that this is being my maiden speech. They don't interrupt me. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. So there was no emphasis on school sports, yet competition is in schools are a key source of talent. Right Honorable Speaker, equally worrying is the welfare of our athletes. The concerns of delayed facilitation, inadequate medical care, limited insurance covers, poor retirement and planning, insufficient physical social support, all affect our sportsmen. As I wind up, Right Honorable Speaker, as Uganda is preparing to co-host 2027 AFCON, the success of AFCON 2027 should not be measured only by completing of stadiums. It should have sports infrastructure across the country, strengthen the institutions, increase the youth participation in sports, and sustainable sports development programs. Government should therefore prioritize the rehabilitation and the construction of community sports grounds, district stadiums, multipurpose indoor sports facilities, and high-performing training centers across all regions of Uganda, rather than concentrating investment in a few urban centers. Every district, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, Honorable, you see, you used your time sorting issues with a neighbor who was not on record. So let me compensate you even if it was out of your own making. Conclude.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was saying, Right Honorable Speaker, every district should have a functional sports infrastructure capable of supporting schools, clubs, and community competition. And government should strengthen talent identification by establishing regional sports academies increasing support to the
to show us where Uganda has been, where Uganda is, and where we're going. It also, the NRM government has known the way, has gone the way, and has shown the way. The president highlights 3 specific issues. 1, wealth creation. Another one, human capital development. And the last one, infrastructure development. Through the PDM program, which is our flagship program, it's been inclusive in including even the last man at the village level. And so I stand to support the motion that His Excellency, to appreciate His Excellency for such a wonderful State of the Nation address. In the area of infrastructure, we have a road that runs from Pakwach all the way up to Difule, which is going to the border between Uganda and Sudan. This is, the president emphasized that our infrastructure development supports wealth creation and trade. So we remind the government about tarmacking of the road from Pakwach through Madiokolo, through Moyo and Obongi up to South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Evelyn.
Thank you.
Honorable Evelyn, followed by Honorable Remejia Chia, followed by Honorable Freedom Queen Twin, then Honorable Wariswaka. Honorable colleagues, we are here, okay?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, I am called Evelyn Nsima, the woman member of Parliament for Rubanda District. This is my first term in the Parliament of Uganda, and I would like to appreciate the people of Rwanda for overwhelmingly voting me and giving me the opportunity to serve. I thank the people of Rwanda. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to associate myself with the State of the Nation address of the President, because he focused more on agriculture as an enabler, which leads Uganda to the money economy. Right Honorable Speaker, it is timely because approximately 70% of the population deals in agriculture. To be precise, 33.1% of the people of Kigezi participate in subsistence agriculture. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am a practical farmer, and I want to bring to the attention of the government that many farmers in Uganda, in communities, are unable to afford knapsack sprayers. Majority plant crops and are unable to timely spray their crops, resulting into low productivity. Right Honorable Speaker, does the government of Uganda agree with me that each village, for example, Rwanda district that has 478 villages, should have a knapsack sprayer at village level? However, Mr. Speaker, sir, I believe development does not effectively progress in isolation of enabling the health capability. Kigezi sub-region has 6 districts with a population of 1,787,231 people as per the 24 census report. Unfortunately, Kigezi sub-region has no cancer center. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite the increasing number of cancer patients, particularly in farmers and peasants in rural communities, Mr. Speaker, sir, most of these patients have to travel to Mulago and Mbara to access these benefits. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, I conducted a fact survey, and the findings based on Uganda Cancer Institute indicate that cancer in Kigezi sub-region is increasing with 1,200 new cases every single year.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Mejachi.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, conclude. But you say, Honorable colleagues, let us use 3 minutes. But conclude. 3 minutes.
For record, Rwanda patients are 130, Kabale has 220 patients, Rukunjiri 190, Kanungu 170, Kisoro 150, and Ruchiga 100 patients increment every single year. Mr. Diagnosed cancers in Kigezi are cervical cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, soma cancer, to mention a few. And my prayer to the government, Speaker, sir, is to ensure that government prioritizes the cancer center for Kigezi, and at least each village has a knapsack sprayer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Mejachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, I want to appreciate His Excellency the President for the narrative on the historical mission and work of NRM from 1960s to the present. And he gave a very vivid example how we worked with a number of people he mentioned in the 60s in the cattle corridor, and today transforming not only the cattle corridor but the rest of the country. He gave the example of the GDP of Uganda of $3.6 billion in 1986, and today we are in 69 billion and going to 500 billion. He gave the example of life expectancy rising from 43 years to now 68 years. Infant mortality reducing from 122 to now 36. And he gave poverty reducing from 56 to now almost 16%. And I think, colleagues, in terms of tracing the history of NRM and the work of President Museveni, we must give him applause for the dedication to this country and for working, bringing us from state of hopelessness to a state of hopefulness. But the historical mission of NRM in Karamaja is not yet done, colleagues. As we talk now, the vulnerabilities to weather are still persistent. To this house, we want to appeal to this country. Karamaja is now in a state of dire need of food. More than 900,000 people are affected. People are starting to die in Kotido, in Kabong, and some parts of Moroto because of bad weather, which is actually affecting the whole country. But in Karamoja, without a cow, and most people lost because of insecurities, lost animals. There is a dire need to refocus the mission of NRM in Karamoja to equalize this country. We were talking about education here and equity. But there is still more to be done in Karamoja. In terms of poverty, monetary poverty, Karamoja stands at 74%. In terms of multidimensional poverty, Karamoja stands at 56%. We are the best in all bad indicators. Infant mortality, life expectancy, all of this. I think we need really to focus and find a better strategy to address the challenges that face that part of the country. Karamoja constitutes 10% of this country. And now it is starting to deliver to the rest of the country in terms of minerals. We already have a new 4 factories in cement helping us. We have now got clinker factory. We don't have to import. We have marble. We are getting materials for tiles. So let's support Karamoja so that Karamoja can support this country. My appeal to government and to this country is that let's refocus on the historical mission of NRM and that.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Colleagues, whenever I get colleagues from Karamoja, I really, it touches you because Karamoja can be the food basket of not only Uganda, but the region, the whole region. I hope government is designing a deliberate program for transforming Karamoja and tapping it into its potential. So I had picked Honorable Queen Twin, Freedom, then Honorable Aruswaka, then I pick Honorable Maria Chambade, and then I come this side. Colleagues, on this, each one of you will speak. Okay? So we shall not close it until you say, please close that debate.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker and the House. I stand to support the motion and pay gratitude to His Excellency the President.
for his concise and clear State of the Nation address, which is working instantly already. When he said no more sleep, I think everyone is now awake. Even in my village, they are calling ministers to go and see their school projects and water projects. When he said no corruption, the country is on fire, everybody is active. When he has said middle income status, this has given hope. And people now feel that we can actually reach the middle income status through PDM. But on this PDM, I want us, Honorable Speaker, to help this country. In my county, I represent Ora County in Zombo District. I have parishes with 2,500 households. And in the 5 years, the parishes with 500 households are beginning to repeat the distribution of PDM. But this one of 2,500 households need 10 years, actually need 15 years at this rate. I would like us to appeal to you and to the Ministry of Local Government. Please, let's do a research. We cannot make one parish to wait for 15 years to round all the households, and one parish is only taking 5 years. And anyway, how long is this PDM program? Is it a forever program or is it a time-bound program? I think we should begin to think specific. My second point is about, so in this I'm really saying we need fairness and we need to be objective. My second point is, if we are going to reach the middle income status, in Zombo district is the only district which has not been connected to another district through tarmac road. The president campaigned and said by April you will have a contract and the road will commence. And I think it's the technical people who deceived the president. Now April passed, there is no contract, there is no commencement. I'm putting the minister on notice that I'm bringing leaders from Zombo district to his office. So
thank you. By the time Queen Trini goes to that extent, you know things have been bad. So right on, I request that you help her, your former colleague in cabinet, and follow up on this issue. Honorable Warswaka, engineer.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and honourable colleagues. Congratulations. Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the President, but in thanking him, members and the country still know that the President has still the power. The way he moved to the podium showed that we still have a minimum of 50 years to take this country. And in case of anything, we already have a substitute. Right Honourable Speaker, the President, whenever the President comes, our brothers from the other side and sisters, sometimes they don't attend. And when they don't attend, it's good they realize that there is one President, they come and discuss whatever he has given. Right Honourable Speaker, the President mentioned about bicycles for parish chiefs. May I know from the Prime Minister, when are the bicycles coming? Yes, because when you go to the constituency, people are asking for bicycles. Right Honourable Speaker, on the issue of corruption, I think it has started. As the state and government, I know we have just started. You wait when the beginning starts. The corrupt time has gone. Right Honourable Speaker, when the President was in Butaleja, we reminded him about the tarmac road, which already he gave an executive order. Prime Minister, may we know why? And I think it's a policy of government. Usually where they don't get votes, that's where they do tarmac. And members here from rural areas, where we give Can we know from the Prime Minister, do you do the reverse? If that's the case, we may not withstand this. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to commend the President on the fight about this Ebola. And he told us he has fought very many wars. And Ebola, the minister will come, I think, is almost gone. So I want to commend the President for his visionary leadership, and I urge members, especially now my brother from Busoga, you join. That's why you see Honorable Mapinduzi, you have been thanking him. He was the other side, now he's this side. You are seeing the motion he's bringing. Honorable, there is a very good cadre. Thank you very much. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable Amelia Chambade, followed by Honorable Naku Fiona.
Okay, right, Honorable Speaker.
And Honorable Shaka.
Right, Honorable Speaker. First of all, I would like to thank the President for the state of the nation, which has given us hope, especially economically. But my focus is going to be on health. The President has campaigned drastically over our health issues. Number one, COVID, AIDS, Ebola, and all that. But in this particular statement, I realize that government is going to establish regional centers for cancer. Cancer has eaten us up insidiously. It is a serious matter, but now that we are going to get regional units, that gives us more hope. I looked at the maternity, the maternal health. He's going to establish maternity wards in most of these of the districts. Another issue that most health centers have been suffering from is lack of medicine. But now with Namamvi and a large pharmaceutical center, we'll be able to get drugs and necessary equipment. Let me go down to Mpiji. In 2014, the President pledged a hospital, health center 4, and hospital status. Population has risen from 212,000 to 390. And the accidents on the highway have increased. We have 570 reported cases every year, but we don't have a hospital to cater for them. They have to drive them to Mulago, they have to, and in most cases, they die on the way. So I'd like to appeal to the Minister of Health through you to ensure that he fulfills the pledge of the President of raising the level of health center 4 to a hospital status. I rest my case. Thank you very much. Right on front.
Thank you, Honorable Naku Fiona, followed by Honorable Shaka, Honorable Brian.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Naku Fiona, the workers' representative, and I rise to support the motion, appreciating His Excellency the President for the State of the Nation Address 2026-2027. The address presented a clear vision of wealth creation, industrialization, and economic transformation under the theme of Chisanja, no more sleep. Right Honorable Speaker, the progress highlighted deserves recognition. Uganda's economy continues to grow, with 67% of households now participating in the money economy, compared to the only 9% in the 1962. However, Right Honorable Speaker, as the female workers' representative, appreciation must go hand in hand with accountability. First, I will commend government to ensure that the 2.2 trillion allocated on agriculture reaches the women farmers who constitute the majority of Uganda's agricultural workforce. Resources without effective extension and services and accountability will not deliver the intended transformation. Second, while the private sector is growing, with Kampala startups attracting USD 30 million, in investment in 2025 compared to USD 4 million 2024, the previous year. We must ensure that this growth creates decent jobs, fair wages, and safe working conditions for Ugandan workers, especially the young people and the women. Right Honorable Speaker, thirdly, the government has allocated the 5.2 trillion for health and 6.6 trillion for education. These are commendable investments, but Ugandans will judge the success by not only allocations alone, but by whether medicines are available for the health facilities, whether teachers and health workers are motivated, and whether service delivery improves. Right Honorable Speaker, if this is truly the era of no more sleep, then it must be an era of no more corruption, no more inefficiency, and no more exclusion of workers from the benefits of economic growth. And Right Honorable Speaker, in the absence of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, I would like her next time she's...
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Honorable. Oh, your time is up. Okay. Government has never been absent. So, yeah, so please conclude, Honorable.
Okay. What happened to the minimum wage bill? The workers of this country are yearning for a minimum wage bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Shaka, then Honorable Kapyagon Brown. Then followed by Piantonde.
Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Shaka Stephen, MP, Entebbe Municipality. I must tell you that I am privileged that the President stays in my constituency. We usually have a cup of tea and discuss such matters. So, I pity those who stay far from Entebbe. So, we commend his speech. However, some of you who have used Uganda Airlines and Emirates, when you are landing in Entebbe, there is that road that follows the airport. It's a snake road, a dirt road. Do you know it? That road is called Boku Road. Entebbe is the image of this nation. Right Honorable Speaker, I want the Minister of Works to ensure that Boku Road is done. Our people in Chigungu are dying of dust. The hospital bills are over the roof. I must inform you that it's a matter of urgency. Entebbe must be beautified. It's the gateway of Uganda. Number 2, we have Buwaya, Nachiwogo Buwaya Bridge. We want to open Entebbe to go to Masaka. Entebbe can, when we open Entebbe, there will be civilization. It will go to Masaka, Mpiji, so we need the bridge to be put there. That way Entebbe will be near, people can be able to see the airport. Some of you from the constituencies that are far from Entebbe, we want this bridge to be done. Right Honorable Speaker, we ask the Minister of Works to prioritize all the roads in Entebbe. Entebbe is a beautiful city. I welcome all members of Parliament to come and invest. That is where the President stays. It is safe. You are most welcome. Thank you. I so submit.
Honorable, can we swap constituencies? You seem to be...
Entebbe is the best. Thank you.
Yes, Kapyagon Brand, and then Yanton.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I must thank His Excellency, the President of Uganda, for giving us a direction as a country, and specifically the points that I took to specify within my constituency. The electricity says that we have to extend this grid up to the sub-counties. But I want to report to you, Right Honorable Speaker, that my constituency is off the grid with only a few sub-counties that are connected to the electricity. With it being a border point, and with one stop border point that has been constructed in Kongasis County, it is my prayer that the Ministry of Energy extends the grid of electricity to Kongasis County, so that we can see some of these institutions work. For example, in the sector of health, we have the sector of education, where we need electricity. With now the big population that we have in the country, I know that there is a need for us to have electricity. A case in point, the other day, they reported from Ella Center 4 a maternal death that resulted because we didn't have electricity, so they used torches to do the operation. And this was something that was bad, and we ended up losing this mother. I urge the government, specifically the Ministry of Energy, that we do some bit of extension of the electrification in the county. Then there is this county being a border point. There is a road that connects us to the other side of Kenya, and it stretches away from Swam, Kapnandi, Kaptererwa. How I wish the Ministry of Works does something so that we have this road tarmacked, because we are now looking at a border point having a market so that we promote the integration of East Africa. I beg to end there. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Giantonde, then Honorable Guti Sarah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Katushabe Doreen Birungi from the Antonde, Woman Member of Parliament, the Antonde. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I would like to appreciate His Excellency, the President of Uganda, still on his clear focus on electricity or electrification in Uganda, as my honorable colleague has just mentioned. In his speech, he clearly mentioned that there is a progress from that Uganda has moved from 60 megawatts since 1986 to 2,098 megawatts up today. So I think for me, as a member of parliament in the Antonde, I want to commend that. And knowing that the Antonde is not only seeking electricity for lights, it's also being a cattle corridor. We are looking at the Antonde having progress in agro-business and moving from subsistence to the money economy. I want to commend the President for that, and also pray that maybe the Right Honorable Speaker, through you, to the Right Honorable Prime Minister, to kindly consider the Antonde. The Antonde has been facing a challenge of vandalizing of electric poles in the last 6 months. And this has come as a result of having our security forces, the police, not having facilitation to support them in their night patrols. So I was asking, is it possible, or who do we seek facilitation from for police to have those night patrols be made to protect all these other government properties, not only the electric poles, but even the other activities that are going on in the district. So I pray that that is also considered for my district. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. I think the Minister responsible will respond. Honorable Aguti Sarah, Honorable Muzahid Kemis. I'm
Thank
taking
you.
opposition for now. Then after, I go back. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First, I want to congratulate you upon winning the seat. My name is Sarah Guti. I represent Dokolo District in the Parliament of Uganda. In page 3 of the State of the Nation address,
by the President of Uganda. He said that by 1962, the infant mortality rate was at 128 per 1,000 live births. Today, as I speak, under 5 mortality rate is between 46 to 52 deaths per 1,000 live births, meaning that as per now, Right Honorable Speaker, the population of Uganda has increased compared to 1962. In that line, Right Honorable Speaker, between 1962 and 1986, the government led by the late Apollo Milton Obote had constructed 22 hospitals across Uganda, which can accommodate the population by then. But as I speak now, Right Honorable Speaker, we have increased population across Uganda. For example, Dokolo district is still operating under Air Center 4. But we have more referral cases daily, which is overwhelming the status of Air Center 4 at Dokolo district. Meaning that Dokolo district now deserves to have a hospital that can accommodate the demand that we have. 2, Lango sub-region have 1 referral hospital. Right Honorable Speaker, this is Lira Referral Hospital. Last week I was in Lira Referral Hospital. I got that they have less bed that cannot accommodate all the referrals that they are sending from Lango sub-region. The beds are only accommodating people who are operated. When you are...
Thank you. Yes. Zaid Kemis, followed by Nabawanuka Sumaya, and then Jarameso Fred.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I am Zaid Kemis, Member of Parliament, Arua Central Division. Right Honorable Speaker, one of our colleagues here, I couldn't remember his name. He was saying that those of us who are sitting here were not there when the President was giving the address. And I want to say that that is a sign of acquisition when sometimes to reach some of our constituents, because one of the roles of a Member of Parliament is to do representation. I have come here to represent the people of Arua Central. So I am informing him that we were there. So now, when the President...
But Honorable, we don't know about that person.
He's around here, he will identify himself. Right Honorable Speaker, the President very much emphasized about the cash economy. And particularly, he was zeroing himself on PDM. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to have this, that PDM is a good program in some particular areas, but for the urban centers, there are some challenges. Right Honorable Speaker, PDM has got the BOG. PDM has got the PDC that manages that program. There are no clear funds that are given to them to handle this program. And it has got very big impact on this program that is taking place. And you'll realize that when the minister, local government is going to go down, he's going to have problem with the people. And yet, the component of running this project was not clearly put there. So I would urge that more funds, as the President has got more interest on PDM, more funds should be put to take care of the PDCs and the bog. Number two, as the PDM is not somehow good in urban areas, Mr. Speaker, in 2021, there was a project, a pilot project, done by Ministry of Gender and Labor. That was Urban CAS. That project was piloted in Arua City in 2021, in 50 cells and in 6 parishes. Right Honorable Speaker, this project had got very much impact on the...
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, conclude it, Honorable Kamis.
So what I was trying to say about urban cash was, since PDM fair is not doing well in urban setup, can we have that project that we had piloted, the urban cash for work, which did very well, where it had a positive impact on the road sector, positive impact on health sector. Can we bring it back for the urban setup? Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, number one, Kasumaya.
My sister is requesting that I should inform you that
I know Kemis very well. We know each other very well.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Sumaya Nabawanuka from Mubende Municipality. Speaker, allow me before I start to inform this House that the 2026 World Bank report on African countries, Uganda was classified under the low-income countries. Now, I will only appreciate the President if, because I'm here to speak from Mubende Municipality, Mubende Municipality has a regional referral hospital which serves 6 districts. But, Mr. Speaker, the hospital is overstretched. I want to thank the President because we have specialists in the hospital, specialized doctors, but the hospital is not fully equipped. We have no medicine. It is understaffed. Number 2, that is number 1. We have a high rate of rural-urban migration because the municipality is basically a rural municipality. There is high youth unemployment. PDM and the MIOGA funds are delayed and insufficient. I want to request that actually these youths would be absorbed in different jobs. If, for instance, I want to give you an example, we have 75 villages in Mubende Municipality, but out of the 75, only 31 have electricity. They have skilled them, but they cannot do those jobs because they lack electricity in the areas where they stay. The last one, Honorable Speaker, which caught my attention in the presidential address, was the commercialization of agriculture. Things that inspired Ugandans like Ignatius Musazi and others to demand for independence was, among others, colonial exploitation and economic grievances. Cotton and coffee prices were controlled by Asians and Europeans, and Ugandans felt they were producing wealth they did not actually control.
Thank you. Honorable Jarameso Fred, Honorable Sazi Godfrey, Honorable Opito Vincent. Honorable, what's your name? You see, colleagues, the challenge I have, okay? I try to balance. Someone can say, but I was number this on the list, but you find all of you are from one region. Okay, I've seen the lists I got were not well balanced. So I have to try to balance. Like on opposition now, I have to see how I can balance the different political parties so that I don't pick only one political party and all that. So, but each one of you, honorable colleagues, is going to get a chance. Even if it's not today, but each one of you will get a chance to talk on the State of the Nation address. Yeah. For 4 weeks, we are discussing this topic. Yeah. Yes, Honorable Jarameso.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Jarameso Fred is my name. A member of Parliament of Ajuri County, Aleptong District, Lango Sub-Region, and I have come to this Parliament under Uganda People's Congress Party. Right, Honorable Speaker, on the 4th of June, the President delivered the State of the Nation address. What captured my eyes was key point 1, wealth creation and money economy. 67% of Uganda, the President clearly puts to be under the money economy. Right, Honorable Speaker, to the NMREM government, I'm saying we celebrate that success. However, Right, Honorable Speaker, from the economic perspective, this has got serious economic implications that the Minister of Finance needs to take note of this, that an economy which has graduated into middle income status, number 1, no longer qualifies for concessional loans. That is the reason why the loan that we passed here on irrigation few weeks ago was not concessional loans. Honorable Kefas tried to say it was semi-concessional. No, from economic point of view, it was a commercial loan. Ministry of Finance needs to prepare for this because we are likely not to get more concessional loans. 2, the drugs to support our health sector may have significant reduction in donation by the donors. And as a country, how are we prepared for this? Then to the people of Ajuri and Aleptong, the subsistence economy is at not 67%, sorry, not 33% as the government said, but we are at 48%. Right, Honorable Speaker, to the whole country, it is 1 in 3. We cannot celebrate this when 1 in 3 of Uganda.
Thank you. Yeah, but Honorable, I think for the record, because you see, when we say, just take your seat, when we say that the loan, okay, was commercial or near commercial, because we are now considered a lower middle income status country. We have been passing here loans which are concessional and which are non-concessional. Okay, so I think that needs to be well put on record. Number 2, today as I was revising my reports, Uganda is still ranked among the lower middle the least developed countries. For the 2026 rankings, only Togo has graduated to lower middle income status. And I had it call planning to say, but you told us ABC, they said yes, our ranking will be confirmed once we do it consistently for 3 years. So we are not yet in that position where, yeah, but we have to prepare. So for the record, we can't say here we passed a loan of UKEF or UKEF loans which we have been passing, Honorable. None is concessional. Okay? Depending on the renders. So I had allowed Honorable Sazi, and then I will allow Honorable Kidia Grace IP, Honorable Kamkama Mori.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Saz Godfrey, representing Gomba East County. Mr. Speaker, it is clear State of Nation Address, it is a presidential, it is a constitutional mandate, but it should not be for formality. Mr. Speaker, it should be an address, a speech to give accountability to Ugandans, a speech to address challenges facing Ugandans in a particular season. Mr. Speaker, I want to point out two issues that the President did not address well. The corruption factor. Ever, the President uses the same words to mean the same. At one time he said, I'm going to crush the corrupt ones. The other day he said, Chisanja hakuna mchezo. This time, no sleep. I think, Mr. Speaker, the Ugandans expected President to address on several corruption scandals we have seen, how far we have moved. How has the government addressed the corruption in the recent past? Instead of threatening us with words, corruption, I'm going to crash, Chisanja hakuna mchezo, I think I didn't see anything there. Two, the rising cost of living for Ugandans. Mr. Speaker, look at the increased fuel prices. How do I say that the President spoke when he don't talk about increased fuel prices? Yet, we are saying we are hitting our first fuel this year. How will that one going to affect or improve people's well-being? Mr. Speaker, to me, I do not see anything in the presidential speech.
Now, Honorable colleague, that's according to him. And you know, for Honorable Sazi, the President is a resident in his district, in Gomba here. Maybe they share the issues in the evening, or where we are not, like Honorable Shaka, okay? So, or he has not been given the tea and coffee like Honorable Shaka, but he's raising, according to him, isn't it, Honorable Sazi, according to you? Yeah, yes.
Thank you.
Kidia.
Thank you for catching my eye, Mr. Speaker.
I want to appreciate you.
I am now changing.
Yeah.
Thank you for...
I've managed to catch your eye.
Yeah, you catching my eye. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen a bit. Give me my time. The 3 minutes are now beginning. I am the Honorable Member of Parliament representing Butembe, Jinja District. I'm a new member to the Parliament. Whatever mistakes I make, first agree them. My names are Chiria Grace Wanzala. The President's speech is where I'm going to concentrate, and all my submissions will not move out. I have been impressed per se when you see the write-up, but I'm a practical farmer. At the same time, I do business. The President comes out to clearly explain how Western Uganda, especially his place, has evolved, where he has made sure that targeted programs are made. They trained their people, they supported them with coolers, bulk production started, the factories developed in Western Uganda, in the areas of milk. I want to re-echo this, that heifer cows were brought in Uganda first by Busoga Diocese in Uganda under FLEP program. Second, in 1986, when they had just taken over power, heifer project came in with cows, and the minister then, Victoria Sechitoleko, and my constituency was a beneficiary. Later, Makabu came in. I want to just concentrate in that area. Once heifer left and Makabu as a project, almost all the cows disappeared in Busoga. Why? Ticks. 2, extension systems were not working. And all these things collapsed. Up to now, we don't have extension workers in those villages, in the sub-counties. Minister of Agriculture, you'll confirm to us whether they are there.
Yeah, Honor, we took you a minute. We disturbed you for 1 minute. Let's compass. You're raising an important point, but just come to the conclusion of it.
So what disturbs us now is that if you used an integrated program like that you have used in Western Uganda, where even milk coolers were put in place. I sold milk in my place when my father had that cow. We would move around the whole day. You start boiling it until we lost. You could not maintain the project. To me, what I learned from the president's speech should be replicated in the country. Use an integrated approach and think, if you want milk coolers, is it anywhere in the Busoga? Almost there, a development authority came in to develop one area. I want to be open on this because I've been in government programs. Busoga used to have milk coolers. We used to have a lot of milk. Right now, it is almost coming to zero. Almost all the farms that were there, development farms established by the Obote II government, closed. This is a symbol that if we want to change the country, we need to think in a holistic manner. Let us look for ways of changing this country. The president had a good write-up, a good speech in terms of agriculture. The loans, to get a loan from the bank, I am a farmer, extensive farmer. To get the loan of the UDB, which is 12%, is near a problem. Now, if you go to SCF, the titles you must bring, how many titles, how many people have titles, for example, in Busoga? Titles are an issue of Uganda and so on. Now, in Uganda, Busoga, what we have resorted to is that we have now convinced the banks to start allowing agreements and so on, and the goodwill that you have. So it means that 90% of the farmers are not benefiting.
Thank you. Now, I will request, I've picked a lot of interest in this point because we've been grappling with the issue of an alternative to sugarcane growing in Busoga. Those who, because everyone, rushing sugarcane, but the potential for dairy is huge. Okay? So I will request the minister, I will request the Right Honorable to arrange a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture with MPs from Busoga sub-region so that you can discuss this in detail. Okay? Yes, I can see Honorable Nangwe wants to tag on Bugisu, but no, instead of the nation, I would want us to remain focused. You will have your chance. Okay? Yes, you will have your chance. But I wanted to pick on that point for alternative income generation activities for Busoga. So I had allowed Honorable Morika Mukama, then Professor Rubega, then Katabazi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Nawe Morika Mukama. I represent the district of Kazo as a woman member of parliament. I stand to support the motion to thank the President for his State of Nation address. First of all, the President in the State of Nation address pushed a lot, again, on infrastructure. Without infrastructure, you cannot have manufacturing. No one can come and invest in your country. So I really thanked him. I thank him on that because he's focusing on the key issues. Secondly, the issue of diversifying our economy. The president in his State of the Nation address told us on how he's going to handle the issue of natural resources, that we are no longer going to export raw materials. We are going to process from Uganda. Adding value on our natural resources gives us another leg of our economy. You know, people have been saying that, you know, Uganda is the least developed country. It is true. But our economy is so diversified that in future we can withstand a lot of shocks. We have agriculture, we have our natural resources, we now have oil, we have manufacturing, which is now overtaking agriculture. That is the whole vision of the president, making us stable even though we are least developed. The other issue is pushing for non-traditional crops, and I am a beneficiary of that. I come from a cattle corridor. We didn't have anything to export. Now, dairy and dairy products are like third in export earning. So that is part of his vision, and he again told us in the State of the Nation address on how he's going to support the sector. I want to make 2 points to the ministers present. Kindly, I come from the cattle corridor. I see Karamoja is crying. They don't have food. For us, we don't have water. We kindly beg of you to provide us with water bowsers. The farmers can fuel them even, but at least they should be in the area for us to be able to get water and water our animals. You know, like in my district, we have foot and mouth disease. Because it is there now, it is so dry, the animals are getting out of their farms, and now it is going to spread so hard. So we have a crisis at hand. I beg that you look at that. Secondly, the people who are managing our economy, the president in the State of the Nation address told us he wants the economy to run or be in a double-digit economy, not to grow in a single digit. So I would want us as leaders and as parliamentarians to give you support. Apart from oil, which the president elaborated more in his State of the Nation address, what are other low-hanging fruits that you are putting forth to make sure the economy is growing, not in a single digit, but a double digit? So you would really update us and appraise us, so we support and we ensure that we fulfill the mandate of the president. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Vega. Then Choncho, then Alanyo, then Opio.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Professor Lubega George Wile, representing Ugangai's South in Kakopiro District. May I begin by congratulating you for winning the chair and dear colleagues. In the State of the Nation address, I would like to recommend the fact that life expectancy has risen from 43 to 8 years, and infant mortality has reduced from 122 to 36 persons per 1,000 live births. I really want to point out the investments and policies that have made this possible and will likely to continue to do so. Right Honorable Speaker, primary health care services. There has been an increasing trend in safe water and sanitation coverage, improved maternal and childless care, expanded immunization, expanded ambulance services, and enhanced educational campaigns against malaria, HIV, Ebola, and other things. And now immunization coverage for children under 1 year has reached 94%, whereas for measles or rubella coverage has reached 93%. Mr. Speaker, indoor residual spraying for malaria has been rolled out to 20 districts. Now, with regular upgrades of healthcare coverage through the centralized tier system of health center 1 to 4 and hospitals planned at each village, parish, sub-county, district, region, and national level, and 14 referral hospitals got CT scan machines. Right Honourable Speaker, establishment of specialized hospitals such as the Lubo.
Well, colleagues, we have 3 minutes, so I'm trying to. Professor Kongo, you know, colleagues, a professor remains a professor. His submission is wide research.
I would like to comment the establishment of specialized hospitals and recruitment of specialized specialists such as heart surgeons, oncologists, bone marrow transplants. This will not only it's not only a good strength for reducing Ugandan seeking treatment abroad, but also for promotion of medical tourism and added income through that sector. In conclusion, they are good, great, and specific. They are good general and specific health care initiatives. The reason Uganda will keep on living longer. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Professor. Honorable Katabazi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Chichoncho Katabazi Patrick, Member of Parliament for Ruchiga. Right Honorable Speaker, I was an economist in this Parliament, and I'm very grateful to the people of Ruchiga and God for enabling me to cross from the corridors to this chamber. I rise to support this motion, Right Honorable Speaker. I listened to the address through the economic lenses, and I was happy to note that the economy has grown 17-fold from $3.9 billion in 1986 to the current $69.3 billion today. Poverty has declined, life expectancy has risen, and our economic growth now stands at 6.4% and accelerating towards 10%, which reveals to us that the ambition of the $500 billion economy is no longer a distant dream, but a realistic trajectory. Right, Honorable Speaker, we cannot talk about transformation of the economy when the transformation of our communities is lagging behind. I want to commend the President for the parish development model, a presentation that he made very elaborately through video, which was able to reveal to us that lives are being transformed and people are going into the money economy. What we need to do now is to strengthen oversight, improve recovery rates, and also ensure that this parish development model actually revolves and extends to all households. Right Honorable Speaker, there's also one issue that is very pertinent with the parish development model. I've had the President imploring on members of Parliament to actively participate, and also in other government programs. But we need a policy and legal framework that extends to members of Parliament beyond the oversight function that we normally see that is manifested in the parliamentary committees and the Parliament as an institution. If we do that, Right Honorable Speaker, I'm very sure that members of Parliament will be able to participate very actively in the activities of government at the constituent level with more confidence. Right Honorable Speaker, the President elaborately informed us on how the economy has grown on the aspect of production in coffee, in milk and many other aspects of the economy. This production requires effective transport. And that's why I'll be very relentless in ensuring that the Muhanga Kamwezi.
Conclude that point. No,
Right, Honorable Speaker. Construction of roads, Muhanga Kabarit, Muhanga Seas Road, rather Muhanga Kamwezi Road, a strategic gateway to Rwanda and regional trade is made, while also ensuring that our interconnectivity to other districts through Muhanga Seas Capstone Road is actually upgraded. Improvement of hospitals, ensuring that we have technical institutes, ensuring that we have electricity, extending to most of our parishes like Nyakasherea, Ibumba, Bulime, Nyagabaga, Bachibanda, and Karugwa, which currently do not have a single pole in those areas. Right.
Thank you. Honorable Mubende, then General Kavuma. And yeah, I'll take those three. In that
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable, I also want to join the other members in supporting the motion moved by the Prime Minister to thank His Excellency the President for the precise, clear and well thought out State of the Nation, which was delivered in one afternoon on 4th of June. Right Honorable Speaker, it would be very outrageous for one to think that His Excellency the President would speak about each and everything in details in that one afternoon. I want to appreciate him for all that he talked about. Firstly, about the parish development model. Right Honorable Speaker, in his address, he said that I realized he was alive to the needs and experiences that the people he leads go through. He said, if there is need to increase the parish development model funds from 100 million per parish, we were all present. Parliament was there, the President was there, and the people who were eager to utilize it are available. He said that can be revised. Right Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate that some members of Parliament were not present to listen to it from the horse's mouth, and when maybe they took time to read the State of the Nation that he gave, read in between lines. Right Honorable Speaker, His Excellency the President indicated to us that previously we were producing milk by 1989. He said we were producing milk in millions of liters, but as of now, we are producing billions of liters of milk. So we appreciate him. Secondly, he indicated to us when he started the wake-up call to Ugandans to join the money economy, and he indicated that he did that in 1959. Right Honorable Speaker, all of us can actually make a very simple calculation and realize that he did that in his very youthful age. I want to utilize that opportunity to call upon all of us to go back to our communities and awaken the people that we lead, that they also join the money economy for us to go into the high middle income status. Right Honorable. Right Honorable, as we speak, His Excellency the President also talked about enablers. It is my prayer through the Prime Minister here present to ensure that the ministers that are supposed to facilitate the Ugandans to get that enabling environment, most especially when we talk about electricity. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this minute, that they take it upon themselves to ensure that people get good health services. His Excellency the President and government have a plan of extending health services, especially at health center force, to the Ugandans. Let us work towards that. Let us work towards ensuring that the people of Uganda get electricity to ensure that agro-industrialization, as it is placed as a priority to support the economy, surely does. I thank you so much.
Thank you, General Kavuma.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity where I join my colleagues to appreciate the President's State of the Nation address. For those who may not know me, my name is Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma. I represent Uganda People's Defense Forces in the Torov's Parliament. I want to, of course, try to utilize your 3 minutes, Right Honorable Speaker. What interested me in the State of the Nation address by the President was the way he packaged it. He did break his address into 3 phases. Phase number 1, he talked about his work as a young man, not in government, as a student in 1968, where he used his pragmatic leadership skills without resources to try and help the communities where he came from. He gave us, those of you who attended, you remember my family was given as an example. So I stand here as a beneficiary of that phase, because our people were cattle keepers, but they did not have skills to tame nature to benefit them. Instead, they followed nature. They were cattle keepers. It rains here, they settle, they water their cows. When it dries, they don't know that you can tap this water and harvest it, and then they follow where it rains. My background, my parents moved from Kazo now to Buekura in Mbende, to Buremezi in Ngoma. That's where I was born 64 years ago. To Gomba, to Zimbabwe, back to Ankole. That's where he met them in 1968. The second phase of his speech or address was his work after 1986, where he took over a country, a government that had actually collapsed. Uganda was a failed state, where the other day I bring greetings from Somalia. I don't live here, I work in Somalia. But while I was in Somalia, you passed a budget in this house of about 84 trillion, if I can remember well. And out of which...
Now, General, let's make an argument. Do you think you can carry out a rescue operation in 1 minute? Like they say, please do so. I know you can do it, that's why you're a general.
Out of the 84 trillion budget you did pass in this house, the government, the economy of Uganda was going to fund about a half, about 50, maybe 44 trillion. But in 1986, the whole country was collecting only 5 billion. That is the country the president took over, where all the essential commodities were being gotten from outside. No roads, no infrastructure, everything. That was the second phase of his speech. From 86 up to about 2006, after insurgency. Then the third phase was now the economy taking off with so many factories, with everything. So, with a half a minute remaining, what was the purpose? What do we learn? What do we learn from this State of the Nation address? Is it enough for us to stand here and appreciate him without? I think we need to learn something from him. That leadership is not about positions, generals, honorable members, ministers. Leadership is not about even having a lot of resources. Leadership is about commitment, is about being a pragmatic leader, so that you use whatever you have to move your people from one stage to another. I beg to submit, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you, General. Thank you, General. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Tom Aliti Chandia. Member of Parliament for Maracha East constituency in Maracha district in the West Nile region. I want to support the motion to appreciate His Excellency the President for the State of the Nation address. I add my voice and I bring the voice of the people of Maracha district to support this motion. I want to start from where His Excellency concluded his State of the Nation address. He said, let us work differently this time. And indeed, we need to work differently this time. And I'm very happy that His Excellency the President brought in the legislative agenda number 3, the issue of amendment of the Education Act 2008. I am saying so because of the alarming, disturbing, and catastrophic levels of primary school dropout rate. For Maracha, even for West Nile, the dropout rate for boys is now 90%. The dropout rate at primary level for girls, it is at 93%. So out of 16,000 children who joined primary 1, only 1,600 complete their primary education program, or SACO. It is very disturbing, and the tides are increasing, and the cause of this is poverty. It is out-of-pocket spending on education. It is non-coded community primary schools. We have 15 primary schools, community primary schools. And because of poverty, parents now cannot pay even those teachers. Now for 10 years, no primary school has been coded in Maracha district. We apply, no reply. And we are so disturbed. And coupled with that, we have callous mindset of some parents who don't care. They have given up. So I really love this amendment of the Education Act. We need to move from UPE to CPE. CPE means compulsory primary education, because that is when we can manage this dropout rate and reduce from this 90%. And we need to code these schools in all districts. Let's say, okay, 2 schools per district need to be coded, these community schools. And in 5 years, we would have done a lot. Because some of these community schools in some areas, the children cannot cross rivers to go to the government-aided primary schools. So my plea is the Education and Sports Parliamentary Committee, we need to fast-track the Education Act amendment and bring about compulsory primary education and also code the non-coded community primary schools in our district. I thank you, and I'm happy that you have given me this maiden opportunity.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you. Now, Right Honorable, lead of government business, this is really alarming. It's an alarming issue for Maracha. So I would request that you arrange a meeting between MPs from Maracha and Honorable Phyllis Chemutai, okay, the Minister of State for Primary Education, so that this issue is taken up seriously, because some of the issues go beyond. Now, honorable colleagues, we've just started this debate today. I can assure you this is a debate where you shouldn't panic that I haven't picked you, because each one of you is going to speak. Okay? You can see the time we have. Allow me for now, I call on the ministers. Now, leader of opposition, we are debating your report. I think is raising the issue of the islands, but for now, let us first sort Maracha, okay? Yeah, and then we can continue handling area by area. Yeah. So, and I wanted to start with the Minister of State for Tourism, because there is an issue of the elephants, which I don't want again to come tomorrow.
Oh, you find we have to make it an item on the order paper and we clog it. So, Honorable Minister for Tourism. Honourable Minister for Tourism. I will start with the Honourable Minister for Tourism, where I will address the issue which the Right Honourable Leader of Government Business had said we would be communicating with you. The issue of verifies.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I apologize. I came in a bit late, but I received information about a concern that was raised by a member regarding the 200 elephants that escaped and were ravaging in the community. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to inform this Honourable House that the elephants came from the Karenga Wildlife Corridor. And in this area, there is an area called Tikao. And this is an area which has been encroached upon by the community. They have done farms around that area. And these are people who came from Orom sub-county in Chitugum. And because this area is adjacent to Agago, there are 3 herds of elephants that are moving around that area. This has been a common problem. Uganda Wildlife Authority actually acquired money from government to fence off that area. But the community resisted, saying Wildlife Authority wanted to take over their land. And that's why, up to now, because around 176 kilometers of Kidepo has been fenced off. So we already have the materials, but the problem is the community resisted, including the politicians in the area. So I would like to implore the members of parliament from that area to mobilize the community. Uganda Wildlife is willing and ready because we have already the materials and the funding to fence off, because the only solution is for us to do an electric fence in that area. And 2, usually UA uses, we plant chilies along the borders of national parks. And when elephants test them, they know this is a no-go zone. But because now they are people's gardens, UA is no longer able to plant the chilies. So I'd like to request the members, mobilize the community, and the moment you're ready, Uganda Life Authority is going to come in and fence off that area.
But Honourable Minister, we can't work that way. You can't shift your responsibility to a member. Just wait. Then you come here on the floor. You say, but I told the member to mobilize the community and the member failed. So that's why elephants are still here. No, it's your duty, okay? So, and this is where I tell ministers that please work with the members. Because if the member, for example, had this information, he wouldn't have come here. What he would have done was to link up. So I request, Honourable Minister, that link up with the member, work together to solve the community problem. Otherwise, for him, he will come back here if he fail, and we continue in a cycle, okay? Yeah. So I request you link up with the member.
Thank you very much for your guidance, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm going to do the needful.
Thank you.
Please, members, avail yourselves.
Thank you. Yes, I can see the ministers who are ready. Honourable Tomaza, issues to do with your ministry, you see, which have been raised.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker and members of the August House. And for the benefit of the new members, I am called Lerotom Aza, Member of Parliament for West Moyo constituency, and the brand newly appointed Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Mr. Speaker, this is my maiden response to issues raised by members, as has been captured in the State of the Nation address by the President as a member of the Cabinet. Mr. Speaker, my docket or ministry is the engine of the economy of this country, and it contributes 75% to the economy of this country. It is the engine, the vehicle, that drives the economy of this country. In the year 2010, Uganda government coined what we refer to as Vision 2040. And the Vision 2040 is supposed to be implemented through 6 national development plans. That is NDP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right now, as I talk, we're in NDP 4. We're in NDP 4, and also related to that is the fact that my ministry is also responsible for the 10-fold growth strategy. The 10-fold growth strategy, which is supposed to propel Uganda to Ugandan economy from $50 billion to $500 billion in the next 30 years or so. And that's all my ministry is about. We also have the updated diagnostic trade integration study, which is ongoing to improve on the economy of the country. And to help us in all what we are talking about here, Musevenomics, agriculture to commercial agriculture, moving away from lower middle income status to upper middle income status. All this is in our ministry. We will all as we move on, to upper middle.
Active State of the Nation address, very insightful for the future, and exhibiting his leadership. Very insightful for the future, and exhibiting his leadership over the last 40 years. The members raised a number of questions, and I want to take a few minutes to respond to specific 4 questions that were raised. One was raised by the Honorable Lady, a Member of Parliament for Kampala District, that the traders and businessmen and women are complaining about the delays of clearing their imports at the customs. Mr. Speaker, ideally, the clearance should take 2 days. But what we have been able to observe is that some of the importers have no clearance from institutions like UNBS or NDA because of their goods, and getting those clearances add to the clearance from URA. Some have offenses with the customs. So some of these issues are the ones that actually delay the importers to clear the goods at the customs. But in the context of the President's vision for import substitution and export promotion, we have been engaging with the traders, especially the importers, to join the industrialization agenda, to take advantage of opportunities that we have like UDB and others, to be able to join the manufacturing sector. Because, colleagues, the industrialization agenda is one of the surest ways of creating jobs, paying taxes, and a pathway to achieving the $500 billion economy in the next 14 days. The second point was the issue of Karamoja by our colleague Honorable Remigio. And I know the Prime Minister will touch on one aspect of water.
I thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for giving way. The clarification I was seeking is on the industrialization and how the President is encouraging people, Ugandans, to join the industrial sector. But like we all know, the industrialization sector has been taken away by foreign nationals. If you move on, the industries from, for example, in Luwero, industry by industry, most of them are foreign owned. The clarification I was seeking from you, Honorable Minister, is to clarify on which nature of industries you'd wish Ugandans to join in the industrialization process. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I must make this bold statement that it doesn't matter who has put up a factory in Uganda. What matters is, are we creating jobs for our people? Are we adding value to the things that we produce? Are we creating wealth for our Ugandans? We do encourage our indigenous Ugandans to go into the manufacturing sector, and that's the reason why we have put up institutions like the UDB to help them access money. But I think the most important thing is, are we adding value to what we are producing? Whoever comes and puts up a factory, whether you're a Ugandan or a foreigner, as long as you are employing our people, you are welcome. The second issue was about Karamoja. And I have to say that, Mr. Speaker, Karamoja has a special place in our development agenda as a country. And we are creating a number of opportunities to develop Karamoja. One of the things that we are focusing on in our sector is having factories in Karamoja. And so far, as Remigio said, we have 2, cement industry and also the clinker industry. And because of that factory, we are going to be saving close to 80% of the money that has been used for clinker to be used in road construction using our local materials from Karamoja. We also have good news to the people of Karamoja. We are finalizing a feasibility study to set up a multi-billion-dollar industrial park in that region of Karamoja. And we hope when this one comes up, it will be able to create more jobs for the people of Karamoja, but also create investment opportunities for them. The aspect of the drought and others, we had a discussion, and I know the Prime Minister will comment on that. Honorable, my brother, I'm stressed with so.
No, but Honorable Ministers, we don't, you can see it's past 7. That's why I didn't give an opportunity to members.
Honorable, you can understand.
Rob, you have time to come and raise all these issues.
The second last was about the honorable member from Gomba, who said that the president has been threatening to fight corruption. I have a different view. The president is not threatening, but actually is taking action. And the writing is on the wall. We are happy and glad to be having a president who says what he means and means what he says. He's walking the talk, and we should be proud of our president. The Honorable Mole asked an important question and said, you, the sector commanders, what are you doing to fulfill the intention of the president in the State of the Nation address? Our sector of industry, we are focusing on creating value for the things that we are producing, especially agro-industrialization. and also import substitution. We would like to manufacture everything that we are importing in the country. For example, colleagues, you may need to know that almost 40% of the honey taken in European countries, honey, is made in laboratories. And yet here in Kabale, in Buganda, in Arua, we have a lot of honey. So our focus now, for one example, is to focus on processing honey so that we can export it to these countries so that they get out of this honey made in laboratories and start enjoying the natural honey that comes from Africa. The Lieutenant General Kavuma, I can't agree with you anymore. We have made some good progress with the passage of time, friends. We used to import sugar, but now we have excess sugar and also having industrial sugar. The sugar that is used to produce soda and others is processed here from Kinyara. We used to import carbon dioxide, which is used in soda. Now we have factories that import, rather that manufacture carbon dioxide. We currently importing close to $1 billion of steel and steel products. But we have almost now set up factories that have reduced this import substantially. So we are producing steel here. Companies like Roofings, Tembo, and the others that are setting up in Tororo and in our region, Chigezi, to take advantage of the iron ore that we have in our country, which is approximately 312 million tons of iron ore stocks. We want to utilize this to be able to produce steel and steel products. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the statement of the President was a very important statement, and I'm glad that members of Parliament are appreciating it. Let us join hands together, join the President to industrialize our country, create jobs for our people, and wealth for our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Attorney General.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want, as Attorney General, to bring up the point of the agenda of this House, which His Excellency the President brought out in his speech, or I call it the State of the Nation Address. In the State of the Nation Address, Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President appended an annex where there was a list of legislation. That list contained 23 bills intended to be brought by the government for enactment by this Parliament. The annex also contained 8 reports relating to the budgeting of government. It is important to note that the reports are to enable transparency of the government and hold it accountable to the budgeting process. The bills listed in the annex range from all sectors of government, including education, infrastructure, and transportation, trade, professionalism, the health sector, local government, taxation, among others. The proposed legislation list contained in the annex to the State of the Nation Address is a springboard by this Parliament to harness the achievement and protecting the gains that have been achieved this far, which include wealth creation, budget alignment for the grassroots growth, and promotion of Uganda's independent economic choices and resource management. that Lake Stay Free agenda gives the full work for this Parliament in this coming period. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And Honourable Minister, Attorney General, we shall be glad to receive those laws on the floor. We are waiting. And we hope to receive some this week, as the Prime Minister promised, 2 bills. Thank you. Yes, Minister,
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Members, I just came to add up on what has been stated about Karamoja. Karamoja is an area of lean period of rain normally. There's not enough rain there. This has been compounded by the climatic change, which has made weather now unpredictable. You get excessive drought and excessive rain at times when El Nino comes. The current situation, the current drought which is ongoing, which is occasioning hunger in many parts of Karamoja and the neighboring districts, because rainfall stopped around May. From end of May up to now, there's been no rainfall, and this is the period when most of these areas would be harvesting crops, but the crops dried up before they could be ready. And now, the challenge before us is to make sure we provide emergency relief to Karamoja. The Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, together with the Minister of Karamoja, is working on that. However, the problem of Karamoja needs a long-term solution. The Office of the Prime Minister, and under instructions from His Excellency the President, we have put together a task force, a team, and we are going to integrating the Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, and these other stakeholders to come out with solutions, durable solutions for Karamoja. One of them would be to ensure that we have adequate water for irrigation in Karamoja. And this should be planned, designed, and developed intentionally, not just by chance. And we are planning that right now with the ministries concerned. Another factor which we must be aware of is that there's been rampant degradation of our environment, destruction of our environment arising from increased population. Our population is increasing, so more and more forests are being destroyed, and these forests have been the one causing rainfalls, enabling our climate to be stable, but most of them are being destroyed. Swamps are being drained, and so on. And these challenges, the Ministry of Environment is struggling to try to restore the systems, but that needs us, all of us, to be responsible and ensure that those challenges, we kind of help our people not to continue that destruction of the forests and so on. Because the Sahara Desert is moving southward because of the such destructions. If we allowed it to happen, Uganda will become a dry country. So let us work on that collectively as leaders and make sure that that has been done, that is done. Finally, I want to also mention the cattle corridor, particularly western part of Uganda. They also experience similar shortage of water for watering the animals. This will also be considered alongside when we are looking at Karamoja, we are looking at the whole country. We shall plan for the whole country to see that such solutions are found within the next year or so, to address this problem long term, not short term as we have been doing before. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Defense?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join the colleagues also to thank His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for his precise, concise, and smart State of Nation address he gave to the Ugandans. And I'm also going to make comments in his first statement. As a God-fearing president, he started his statement by saying, "I thank God for making Ugandans achieve the numerous victories." Honorable members, that shows how the leader of this country is. He knows that there is one above him. As a president, he would just stand up and begin to enumerate every achievements. But as being a servant of God, he started by saying, "I thank God." And that one is to all of us that as leaders in the various levels where we are, when we are doing everything, let's bow to God. That is what he was meaning. 2, in the first page of his statement, he said, "I thank God, everything that is going on is because of the peace we have in this country." Honorable members, peace is a cardinal pillar for development of any country, of any community. Honorable members, Uganda now enjoys a strong diplomatic relations and attracts development partners and participate actively in the regional trade. And this is because we now have a peace in this country, and we are able to attract many of these people to come and work with us, which has not been there when this country was a stateless country. Honorable members, because of the peace now we have our entrepreneurs, we have researchers, we have industrialists who are doing a lot of tremendous work in this country. And that is because of the peace that you can talk of. Honorable members, our farmers now can go freely, pick their hoes, go to the garden and dig, plant their seedlings. That is because of the peace we have. You can't go and be in the farm when you are hearing gunshots everywhere. You can't be in the farm when you know that you can be abducted anytime. We shouldn't take the peace we are enjoying as a country for right now, members of parliament. I therefore want to appreciate the Commander-in-Chief, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has brought this peace to the Ugandans, who are now using it to do whatever they can do. Honorable members, the peaceful environment now allows democratic institutions to function effectively, and that one also allows us to promote the rule of law and enhance accountability. No doubt about that. You are aware there were there were very fun elections in this country, but since President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni came to power, with this kind of peace and security, democracy is now the order of the day in this country. Honorable members, the peace, the president just mentioned the peace. He never even enumerated it as I am doing now. But I want to tell us the benefit of that peace. It talks about national unity. When you have a peace, the peace fosters harmony among different ethnic groups, religious leaders, and the cultural groups, strengthening the national cohesion.
No, Minister, are you done? No, I'm the one who allows members, but since you've allowed, please.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I thought by your guidance, you had given ministers opportunity to come and respond to members' questions. Instead, I'm seeing as if the minister is campaigning for the president. Is she in order?
Yeah. Thank you. Now, ministers are also members of parliament. Okay? And yeah.
Speaker, for that wonderful ruling. Honorable member, I'm a member of parliament representing the people of Waringa East County in Yumbe district. So I can use both the opportunity to speak as a member of parliament and also as a minister. And also as a minister of defense.
Now, Honorable, time is running out. So it seems, I don't know if there is any other minister with, right now, did you want sum up today? If not, just stop here. You know, we want every session, because instead of waiting and members raise issues and we find we can't have an opportunity to respond to them at once, or it would take a whole day to respond. I think you urge the ministers, when we're having this debate, at the end of towards the end of every session, the ministers are able to respond to issues. And then I think the Prime Minister at the end will, in general, sum up with the focus on the response to the Leader of Opposition. So the Leader of Opposition raised very, very critical issues, which I think you need a chance to respond to, and that's your chance. So, honorable colleagues, we've just started this debate, like I said. We might take around 4 weeks on it, if possible more than 4 weeks, but we ensure that each one of you submits on it. So on this one, don't go feeling the Right Honorable has not picked me. You know, I was a backbencher, standing up 3 times without being picked. You start, do I have an issue with the presiding officer? It becomes a feeling. But I want to assure you, honorable colleagues, that the section of Honorable Naki next time is where I will start from, okay? But also, instead of you dying with that feeling, please come and talk to me, or even give me a call, or even send me a message. Because some of the MPs even can form an opinion, and then they say, you know, he can never pick me. I have some of you who come and tell me, you know, I only speak when you're the one chairing. Then he goes to the speaker also, he says, you know, Right Honorable Speaker, only you when you're chairing is when I speak. So you're very clever people. But, and then you say, between me and you, he shouldn't know, the other one shouldn't know. So, but honorable colleagues, please, we are extremely fair, okay? We are extremely fair. For now, you might not agree, but the item is still on. This is not an item that has been closed, okay? It's still on, and we shall ensure each one of you is given a chance to speak on this item as part of the maiden speech. So tomorrow we shall resume. Today we had a much shorter time because we had very many issues on the order paper, but we have sorted out most of the issues. So I do believe tomorrow we shall have much more time. And please, I want you to forgive me if I didn't pick you. It's not personal. It's just starting. And slowly by slowly, we shall ensure that everyone is picked. House adjourned to tomorrow at 2 p.m.